Today's episode of Going In Raw is sponsored by Indochino. Indochino was started on the belief that custom clothing shouldn't cost you a mint. So with Indochino, you can get made-to-measure clothing at fair prices. We're talking suits, blazers, shirts, pants, and coats, and you get to customize everything.
Yeah, after booking a virtual style consultation at Indochino.com and sending in my measurements, I got a great pair of pants that fit perfectly and at a great price. Indochino's suits start at just $299, and that includes all customizations.
Indochino has showrooms across North America, or you can book a virtual appointment and shop online at Indochino.com. And right now, you can get an extra $30 off any purchase of $399 or more at Indochino.com when entering RAW at checkout. That's Indochino.com, promo code RAW. Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
On today's Going In Raw News Beef, Chris Jericho talks about the possibility of going back to WWE. AJ Styles issues a challenge to a legendary superstar. Triple H comments on the Adam Cole-Pat McAfee incident. Plus, we're going to preview tonight's Raw and answer your questions. But first, sounds like Vince McMahon may not think Aleister Black is the total package. Larson, what's in the news?
So, while Aleister Black hasn't exactly had stellar creative since his call-up more than a year ago, it's hard to believe it's been more than a year, huh?
Yeah.
He has been constantly involved, consistently involved, and racked up a ton of wins. I think he's only had 2 losses. But then on Monday, as I mentioned, he took his second pinfall loss on the main roster in a match against Seth Rollins. And according to Tom Colohue, it seems like Vince McMahon may not see Aleister as a main event player. Colohue said on the recent Sportskeeda Dropkick discussions, quote, "It was definitely a big defeat to take, even though it was like to a big name like Seth Rollins. He was slightly protected because of interference from Buddy Murphy. Things have really changed in the last couple weeks for Aleister Black. Now, Paul Heyman definitely loved him, and Aleister Black was really the headline of the show for him. Every week, he would be having a half-hour match in the opening minutes. To my knowledge, it is Vince McMahon who has mixed opinions, shall we say. Vince added the creak to the entrance when he leverages up, and now he has removed the entrance altogether. We haven't seen the Aleister Black entrance in a long time. To put it bluntly, Vince thinks there's something missing about Aleister Black, similar to how he feels about Cesaro. Keep an eye on this one because we all know how that went."
So, we've seen the proof in this particular pudding. Aleister Black has been basically, Rey Mysterio's biggest fan.
He's been having Rey's proxy, essentially.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing, though. That's like a really professional way of putting it. Like, oh, he has my proxy. It's just that for no reason he's been celebrating and defending Rey Mysterio's name, and it boggles my mind.
Yeah, and with the thinnest of motivation.
I have kind of a bone of contention with the idea that, and I know, here's the thing, Tom Colohue is not the first person to say this about Paul Heyman being an Aleister Black fan, but was he really? I mean, Aleister Black was in that room for how long? A very long period of time.
That started before Heyman took over, though.
It did, but it's not like once Heyman showed up, there was... I mean, okay, so we had heard that he was slated to win the Rumble. Mm-hmm. And then he was penciled in at one point, and they pulled the trigger on Drew McIntyre. But, like, I know he beat, like, a ton of jobbers, but... I mean, even through Heyman's run, did he have? There was nothing. There was nothing. And how long was Heyman in charge of Raw for? Was it a year?
He was never involved in any sort of interesting feud beyond, like when they first brought him and Murphy into the ring together, main roster. That was actually a motivated storyline that kind of quickly petered out. Mm-hmm. Beyond that, Aleister has not been the focus of really any feud.
So,
well, he's been on TV getting a lot of wins, as you mentioned, mostly against enhancement talent. He's been involved, but he hasn't been utilized to his fullest. Because here's the thing. I don't know what the hell Vince is thinking Aleister Black is missing something. Aleister Black has everything. He's exciting in the ring, especially for a striker, because sometimes striker wrestlers is just punch, kick. Dude is fast. He knows how to tell a story. He keeps his style interesting. He does new things. Dude's got a great look. He's got a ton of mystique. He carries himself like a superstar. He's good on the mic. Like, I don't know any facet in which he's deficient. You know what I mean?
I don't disagree with anything you said, and in
He
fact,
checks all the boxes.
WWE 2. Remember when 2K19, I think, did their DLC, and he was like obviously the guy they put all their resources into because like the model was amazing. He was super overpowered. It was pretty great. It was obvious. No, I agree with everything he said. He's got everything. When he was in NXT, like he was like literally my number one guy. I was really excited for him to come to main roster. But it's like, dude, I don't know. So April 15th, Aleister Black was drafted to the Raw brand. And then wait a second. April 15th, he was drafted to the Raw brand. However, on April 22nd, he was drafted to the SmackDown brand. This happened like a week later. He went back to SmackDown.
What?
I'm just looking at his Wikipedia entry here. Was
that
okay?
last year?
So yeah, and yeah. So yeah, last year in April, he started doing the backstage promos. It wasn't until July 9th that somebody accepted his challenge, right?
Yeah,
and that was Cesaro.
Cesaro, yeah.
They did an Extreme Rules match in July. And then as part of the 2019 draft in October, he was drafted to Raw. And that's when he went. So that was probably like Heyman's thing. He went on a winning streak, squashing his opponents. November 18th, Buddy Murphy, he started that stuff. They did a TLC. They did a match at TLC. And then at the Royal Rumble, which some people say that he, was in line maybe to win.
And then he had that one loss to AJ.
Yeah. And then he had a thing with AJ. But even then, dude, like in February, Heyman was still in charge in February. It's not like they gave him like a decisive thing. Yeah, they had him beat AJ Styles in a no DQ match with interference from the Undertaker. WrestleMania 36, he beat Bob Lashley. All right, so there's some proof there. I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I agree with you though. Vince McMahon is crazy if he doesn't think Aleister Black. Like, I've always been a big fan of Cesaro, but I've always kind of understood what Vince was talking about with Cesaro. Like, Cesaro checks all the boxes for me personally, but I could understand how Vince wouldn't see the attraction aspect in Cesaro because Vince likes the attraction guys,
Yeah.
Aleister has that. Yeah. He's got the mystique. He's got everything. He's got the look. He's got everything you want. This boggles my mind completely. I don't get it.
I know. It totally does. I don't understand it. I don't understand.
And it's disappointing.
Dude here that can make you a ton of money and you don't utilize that. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the entrance being gone, I mean, it was a pretty elaborate entrance to have it there at the Performance Center. I don't know that. I mean, I don't know if that would have actually changed because did he have his entrance at the Performance Center before?
I don't remember. It's been a long time since I recall seeing it. 'Cause usually he runs out to save somebody.
He runs out if Rey Mysterio's in danger. Yeah. No, that's a good point though. Like, I don't know, at WrestleMania 36, like he probably had his entrance there, huh?
Yeah, maybe.
Now they have those weird plexiglass.
So.
Who knows? Anyways,
it seems like so long ago, even just April.
So, man, I have a question for you, Larson.
What?
Do you think the demo god Chris Jericho is ever going to come back to WWE?
I don't know, man. It seems like a long time ago that he was even in WWE, but on his latest Saturday night special stream, Le Champion, Chris Jericho, spoke about a possible and potential return to World Wrestling Entertainment. So we had to say, transcript from Wrestle Talk, quote, "It's not going to happen." Sounds like me. Wow. "I really enjoy being in AEW. I love my time at WWE. I love Vince McMahon. I learned a lot. I had a lot of fun. But listen, you can't stay in the same place forever."
Yeah. So there's two things about this statement. Number one, it's Chris Jericho saying it. Then you never believe anything he says. Number two, literally that last sentence there, "I had a lot of fun, but listen, you can't stay in the same place forever." I could totally see him going back to WWE ages from now. He's got a 3-year contract, I think, with AEW.
That's
is that
my
right?
understanding, yes.
And even after that, if he's still having tons of fun, if AEW's still rolling along, I could see him totally re-signing there, maybe for another couple of years.
Oh, yeah.
But I could absolutely see him going back to WWE, even if it's a matter of getting some Hall of Fame stuff, doing some promos. If it's after his in-ring career is done, he's made sure to stay on good terms for the most part with WWE.
Yes. And I think in terms of wrestling again for WWE, that seems like a pretty small chance because he seems invested in AEW. He seems to really enjoy his time there, there's really no reason for him to leave AEW. My understanding is he gets paid handsomely. Mm-hmm. He has basically unlimited creative freedom. Mm-hmm. He, not only into his own stuff, he seems to be very vocal in terms of giving notes on other creative ideas being pitched or implemented. There's really no reason for him to leave unless he just really craves like that WrestleMania platform. And he's done it all already. Yeah. So, and now even with AEW, it seems like, granted, right now it's not a good sample size of that. I would assume, have all the freedom he wants to say, maybe he had this in WWE too, I don't know. Hey, I want to go on a tour with my band. I want to take 3 months off.
Yeah, I mean, there's also, if he's a guy who if there was something creatively speaking that he was really interested that only WWE could offer as well, he's in a position now he can literally just do what he wants to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that, but it also, at the same time, like taking anything he has to say, it's such a grain of salt, and he's good at that. He's so good at that because he has a platform, people listen to him, but man, it's like with him, it's like take what he says and then completely spin it around to the opposite, and that's usually what he's getting at.
Usually but he gives you the no, I don't plan on going back, but there's always that caveat at the end.
Oh yeah,
you don't stay in one place forever. And
hey, he's gonna pick up his Hall of Fame ring, dude. He's gonna do that.
Oh yeah.
Before we continue, here's a word from the sponsor of today's show, Raycon. Larson.
Yeah?
When you're sitting in front of your computer recording one of our shows or listening to some new dope jams, do you actually want to listen to what you're listening to, or do you want to listen to whatever your family is doing?
You know me, Steve. When I'm working, I want to concentrate on what I'm doing, whether that's recording a podcast, recording some music, or listening to the newest, freshest jams. I need a great pair of earbuds to make sure I actually hear what I'm trying to do. But did I drop hundreds of dollars on a pair? Oh no, I checked out some wireless earbuds from Raycon. Raycon earbuds start at half the price of any other premium wireless earbuds on the market, and they sound just as great as the other top brands you know.
Their newest model, the Everyday E25 earbuds, are their best ones yet. With 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, and a compact, comfortable design that gives you a great noise-isolating fit.
My Raycons have become my go-to wireless earbuds. They're comfortable, they sound fantastic. Unlike some of the other wireless options, Raycon earbuds are stylish and discreet. That means no dangling wires or stems to distract while working out or recording a podcast. You've probably seen celebrities like Snoop Dogg, Cardi B, J.R. Smith, and company co-founder Ray J wearing their Raycons. Now you can pick up a pair and see what the hype is all about.
Now's the time to get the latest and greatest from Raycon. Right now, get 15% off your order at buyraycon.com/raw. That's buyraycon.com/raw for 15% off Raycon wireless earbuds. buyraycon.com/raw.
Anyway, someone else who seems destined for a Hall of Fame career, Adam Cole, was involved in a bit of an incident on last week's Pat McAfee show. And then Adam Cole Bebe took to Twitter to apologize for his part in the incident. Steve, why don't you take this one?
Yeah, so he posted this via the Notes app picture, which is a popular way of apologizing these days. He said this: "I've had the weekend to think about everything, and it's still hard to put into words where to begin. First of all, to anyone that I offended, I apologize. I apologize because I represent a brand that commands respect, not just because of what we do in the ring, but how we handle ourselves outside the ring. Even though he continued to push my buttons, I should still have kept my composure and acted like a professional. I'm embarrassed by my reaction, and I will make sure something like that never happens again. Thanks for the continued support, everyone." He probably was cracking up the entire time he was writing this.
Yes.
But to do some additional damage control, I guess, Triple H appeared on today's edition of Pat McAfee's show and spoke of the incident, saying this, and these transcripts come to you via Fightful. "I like both of you guys. You're both good guys and very passionate. To me, this is all a misunderstanding. You guys have had a relationship for a while, positively, and then becoming negative. It started from a place of you participating in NXT shows, and you've had interactions from the showbiz side. Sometimes those lines get blurred, and you guys had a relationship that became somewhat more contentious behind the scenes. It was a budding irritation that was interesting for people. I apologize for Adam coming on your show. He is the nicest guy in the world. He comes on your show. There's an interaction where I believe Adam is being a little overly sensitive, and you being Pat McAfee, a professional button pusher. You needle people for a living. I didn't ask him to put out an apology or do anything. He's a grown man responsible for his own actions. To me, this is two guys. I'm sure you've had this on your teams. The guy you don't get along with and the guy you almost come to blows with becomes the guy you're closest to. I think that's what this is. At some point, sooner than later, you guys should get together, sit in the same room, be honest with each other, and have that conversation.
And my understanding is he then invited McAfee out to Florida to have this summit, this sit-down, this face-to-face with Adam Cole.
Okay, so that's where this is headed. Pat McAfee is going to be on an episode of NXT to try to take, advantage views-wise, ratings-wise, of this blow-up situation. I'm still kind of surprised that WWE let Adam Cole drop so many F-bombs on the Pat McAfee show.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm less surprised that, if it was Vince, I'd be more surprised. Triple H, I understand he's aware that WWE is supposed to be a family-friendly brand, but at the same time, NXT kind of exists somewhat on its own little island. He can do stuff like this and not really raise a whole lot of eyebrows.
Yeah, for sure. So I don't know. I think it'll be. I've actually grown to appreciate Pat McAfee quite a bit. When he first showed up in NXT, his personality it was too barstool. It just grated on me. But when I saw his shtick, and I don't know, I grew to appreciate him quite a bit, and a lot of that actually had to do with seeing the watch along stuff with him and Adam Cole, and what good humor he took. It was obvious that these guys, it's obvious these guys do get along behind the scenes because Definitely. Adam Cole can't help but laugh whenever he's making fun of him. And it's always in good fun ribbing like you and I do to each other, Yeah.
Well, even the stuff that McAfee was saying on his show was you'd surround yourself with more talented people.
It was so kayfabe. It was the only reason you win is because Undisputed Era helps you out. Well, like I said when we were talking about this last week, that's part of this show. Adam Cole's not going to get sensitive about that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And he's joked himself about being a bit on the smaller side.
Yeah, he totally has. Yeah, and
so why would he take offense to that? So totally a work, 100%,
absolutely,
1,000% totally a work.
Absolutely. So speaking of also a work. AJ Styles. Oh, wow. This was during an interview. It wasn't on his Twitch stream?
No.
Wow. So AJ Styles looks like he might be challenging the Dead Man for an actual last dist ride. Because during a recent interview with BT Sport, AJ Styles spoke about having one more match against The Undertaker, the Dead Man. And he proposed a last ride stipulation. And he said this. From WrestlingNews.co. Larson, do you want to read this one?
Sure. Fine. You want me to give you one? I'm the IC champ. Undertaker has never been the IC champ. I'll put on the line against you, Undertaker. And if you can friggin' beat me, I'll leave the WWE forever. But if I win, you leave. That's the story behind that one. I want the Undertaker at SummerSlam because he hasn't come to me and said, I'm done. I'm retired. He just said it on TV. But he said that if Vince McMahon needed him, he'd be there. Challenge has been issued. The gauntlet has been thrown. Will the Dead Man accept?
Yeah, because there's no way AJ... If this was a Twitch stream, then I would have been like, okay, this is just AJ throwing it out there. It's not a big deal. But this is an actual interview with an actual media outlet. Isn't Vince McMahon super against people doing that kind of thing unless there's a match?
Yeah, he doesn't like people promoting matches that he can't deliver on. No, that apparently really irritates him.
Right, and I don't know if AJ. I would think that AJ cares about that these days, but it's seeming he's in his older age. When I say that, I mean our age.
He was noted in a lot of shoot interviews for being relatively diplomatic about things. But he just said recently that Dixie Carter ruined TNA.
Yeah,
he's seemingly not worried so much about the diplomacy anymore.
I think losing the Good Brothers really kind of just gave him I don't give an F type attitude. It kind of feels that way. I think sitting there on his Twitch stream, he's winding down. I mean, he has said himself, doesn't he consider this is probably going to be his last wrestling contract? So yeah, I kind of feel like he probably looks around and sees how much shooting is going on around him on Twitch streams and whatnot, and he's like, "Hey, man, whatever. I'm gonna call it like it is." And he's put himself out there a little bit more, because if you go back, like 5 years or so, you look at some of his shoot interviews from a little while ago. He's the most diplomatic person there is. Like, I'd like to hear his thoughts about Hulk Hogan today and what he did with TNA as opposed to a couple of years ago when he was like, "Oh yeah, my only problem was he came in, they didn't really know our names, so they didn't really know." I was like, man, you're just basically being very diplomatic while saying that Hogan came in, didn't know anybody, and buried everybody.
Effectively.
Yeah. So
I kind of hope someone in chat here mentioned that this match would happen at Survivor Series, and I agree. If it's going to be Undertaker's, Mr. Sinister said it better be a Survivor Series. If this could be Undertaker's real last ride, have it come full circle 30 years after his debut at Survivor Series. Yeah, that's the place to do it. Granted, the chances of fans being in attendance for Survivor Series I still think are pretty slim, but it's still greater than the possibility of fans being in attendance for SummerSlam.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So if it's going to be Taker's last match, it's got to be in front of fans.
Put it off until there are fans. Don't make it solid until there are fans around. But yeah, I don't know. That's cool. Somebody, who is this? Panda Police Club says Adam Cole's mods had been deleting all the comments relating to the Pat McAfee in his Twitch chat. That's such a like tricky situation, I think, for wrestlers, because when they get involved in something that is, I guess for lack of a better word, controversial, and then they go on these Twitch streams, they have to figure out then how do they deal with these things? It's like you're keeping kayfabe, but then these Twitch streams are often out of character. How do you toe that line? And that's one way to do it.
Yeah, I guess so.
Spideyville says Cole likes to keep his streams PG too. Not me, man. My gaming stream the other day here at the Twitch. Oh boy, that Slow Wolfpack game, I was cursing up left and right.
Oh dear.
Yeah. I even shed a tear for poor Sir Chewbacca. Anyways, we got a Raw preview, man.
We do.
Because Raw's on tonight. 3 hours.
Raw is on tonight.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, there should be a really good match here. So first up, we've got Drew McIntyre choosing the stipulation for his rematch with Dolph Ziggler this Monday on Raw. So the match is going to happen.
Sorry, go ahead.
The match is going to happen a week from today, or is it happening today?
No, I think it's tonight.
That match is happening tonight. Okay.
I thought so. It was going to be a title match, but now it's not a title match anymore.
Oh.
And then, did you see the exchange between the two of them where Dolph tells Drew to make it a career versus career? And then Drew said, essentially, I've been going through Google Images, and this one got my attention, and it's bald Dolph.
Yeah, I saw that.
Pretty funny.
I saw that. That's good stuff. I know. The idea of Drew sitting there on his phone chuckling to himself,
I know,
really makes me laugh, because he doesn't strike me as a guy who's really smooth with his phone. Like, I could see him as being the kind of guy.
Hold it like this.
Yeah. He holds
and then uses the one finger.
Yeah, he does. This is totally true, man. Anyways, after that, we've got Asuka and Sasha Banks colliding for the Raw Women's Championship.
That should be great.
Man, but if both these matches on this show, that should be a pretty fun.
I'm pretty sure Drew versus Dolph was on the show.
I thought it was supposed to be for this week too.
That was my understanding, but maybe they changed that as well as changing that the fact that it's a title match. Randy Orton to kick off Raw by announcing his next target.
The targeted. Who do you think is he going to kick Ric Flair out of existence?
He's probably going to say he wants to prove or cement the fact that he's the greatest wrestler in the world by having the WWE Championship. That'd be my guess.
Probably right.
I'll say whoever wins match, that match.
So we've got
challenge at SummerSlam.
3 Raw tag teams, and I believe it's Cedric and Ricochet. It's the
Viking Raiders,
and
then Andrade and Garza.
And Garza are all going to be fighting for a title bout at SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they've been building up Andrade and Garza to sort of do this, but didn't they already have a title shot?
It wasn't a title match, but they just lost to Street Profits last week.
Man, give that to Cedric and Ricochet. Put them on a pay-per-view. God, please do that. Oh, that'd be so good.
Then finally, Rey Mysterio's son, Dominic, is coming to Raw to confront Seth Rollins. Is this when Dominic joins the greater good?
No, it's not going to happen. Or maybe, now that I said that, it's going to happen. Seth Rollins, listen to me. I don't like that you took my father's eyeball. I am the UK champion.
Oh, my goodness. My goodness.
Before we continue, here's a word from the sponsor of today's show, forhims.com. Hey, Larson.
Yeah?
Do you feel like you're moving forward with your life while that hairline of yours is moving backwards? 66% of men start losing their hair by the age of 35. But I'm here to tell you that the best time to prevent even more hair loss is to do something right now while you still have some up on your dome.
It can be tough for guys to go to the doctor and get care for issues that may seem uncomfortable, even if they're totally normal and completely treatable. Thanks to the wonders of science, hair loss can be optional. Science. Hims connects you with FDA-approved products to treat your hair loss.
That's right. Hims connects you with licensed medical professionals online. All you got to do is answer a few questions for free to see if FDA-approved hair loss treatments are right for you. If approved, products are shipped directly to your door.
Today, Hims is giving you their best offer yet. If you're not happy with the results after 90 days, Hims will give you a full refund. And right now, Going in Raw listeners can get their first visit absolutely free. Go to forhims.com/GIR.
Remember, that's forhims.com/GIR. Full refund of price paid available for the first 90-day supply. Refund requests must be made between 90 and 180 days after product shipment delivered. Prescription products require an online consultation with a medical professional who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. All right, man. How about we answer some questions? I think we got a healthy number of questions here on the Twitter.
We
I'll
do.
take that. And if anybody on the Twitch chat wants to ask a question, then just have it highlighted with your channel points, and we'll hop right on that.
Mr. Triple Mania Juan Guerrero Jr. says, since I didn't get my birthday shout out last week on my actual birthday, like Steve said he would last Monday, I was ready to give him a birthday shout out. You're like, no, it's not his birthday. Happy belated birthday, Mr. Triple Mania.
But he wants it in like voices, I think.
Yeah. From Steve as Undertaker and Larson as Dijakovic and Putty. Also, if G1 Climax returns this year, should it be a one-night thing or maybe a battle royal?
Wouldn't that be hilarious if the G1 it was like it's not like a month-long affair now, it's
battle like royal. The New Japan Rumble before Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah. Happy birthday to one. Oh wait, no, hold on a second. Let's try this. Because he's Mr. Triple Mania, Feliz Navidad. No, that's Merry Christmas. Which one is Happy Birthday?
Oh, man, it's on the tip of my tongue.
Años. Something Años. Feliz Cumpleaños.
Yes.
Happy birthday, Cumpleaños.
Yeah, that's right. It's gonna be an Arby's night for your birthday.
Feliz Cumpleaños para ti.
Anthony, create 2 teams of musicians, Survivor Series style. Larson picks 5 American artists to go up against Steve's 5 British artists. Then decide which team is better. So we got to have essentially a musicians Survivor Series match.
Okay.
Oh man, I got 2.
So you got American, I got British.
Yeah. So this is like a real wrestling bout. That's how I'm booking my team.
All right. Let's see here.
And I'm kind of using, like peak iterations of all of these particular musicians, not necessarily current day.
Okay, but this is a wrestling match though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you need 5, right? 5? 5, yeah.
I think mine is going to win. The Brits make some crazy people.
I don't know, man. I got a pretty good squad so far.
Let's see here. Okay. So it's 5-on-5, right?
Correct.
All right. All right, give me one more second here.
No, take your time. Take your time.
Well, no, I know, but this is a show, man. I don't have people.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Oh, wait. Oh, crap. It was just on the tip of my goddamn tongue. Yeah, I'll keep him. Let's see here. Okay, I think.
All right. If you know what you got, go ahead.
Let's see here. Let's double check here. Okay. Oh, I think he had some run-ins.
Had some run-ins? Is that what you said?
Dude, I'm looking for badasses here. All right, listen to this lineup I've got here.
Go ahead,
number
go
one,
ahead.
I'm sorry, but I win with number one. It's Lemmy.
Okay.
There is no bigger badass in the history of music than Lemmy. All right, so that's number one.
Number one on me, he in his heyday, he was jacked. Jacked.
Are you going to go Danzig?
Henry Rollins.
Oh,
Henry Rollins.
Is Danzig on your team, though?
Yes, number two, Glenn
Wow.
Danzig.
Yeah, that's great. That's really good. So I've got Lemmy. That's who I was going to, what's his stupid name? Okay. Number two, man, this guy's been in, I don't know which one is, I can't put them both on the same team because the team will completely implode.
All right.
I'm going to say it's Liam Gallagher. But I don't know if it should have been him or Noel. I'm telling you, dude.
I think it's Noel.
Is
He's the one
Noel
that
worse?
He's the one that left Oasis, I believe. He was the lead singer, right?
Okay, but Liam was the guy who... Noel is slightly more responsible, I think. Noel is the brother who actually writes all the songs and stuff.
No, that's Liam, man. Isn't that Liam?
Liam is the singer. Noel's the guy. Noel's the guy who.
I guess I got him backwards.
Yeah, Noel's the guy who's on stage while Liam said he was sick and he couldn't perform it unplugged or something.
Fair enough. I got him backwards. My apologies.
Yeah, Liam is the loose cannon. So I got Liam. I got Lemmy. This guy I think is actually probably a pretty chill guy, but his aura is like crazy.
Yeah.
Rob Halford.
Okay.
He's like badass. Like you just take one look at that guy, you're like, oh man, breaking the look. That guy's gonna kill you. Who's up next for you?
Oh, Johnny Cash.
Okay, cool. That's a good one. That's good. Next up for me is Robbie Williams. I'm pretty sure Robbie Williams had plenty of run-ins with the paparazzi. I don't know that for sure, but he had to have smashed a couple pints across like some camera guys.
Yeah. Then I got Dr. Dre. He is jacked now.
Yeah, he's pretty jacked. He
is jacked.
He's also a billionaire. You think he's really going to get into a fight? I don't know, man. I feel like he was the least threatening member of like the West Coast gangster rap scene. He was like the guy, like, why didn't you get Suge Knight?
He's not a musician. He's
Whoa! I did not say those words. That is you. That's on you.
No,
I'm sure he probably considers himself one.
No,
he didn't produce anything. He was just a mogul.
No, he didn't produce anything. He didn't. It wasn't on anything. No.
I don't know, man. Still, that's scary business. He's in the industry. Well, now he's in prison, so probably a good pick. And then I've got one of two options here. So like Ozzy has eaten a bird's like a head off a bird or a bat or something.
It's a bat.
So that's crazy. But also, I got Pete Doherty on here from the Libertines. I think he's crazy too. He might be crazy, but I'm going to go with Ozzy because that's star power. I'm box office. Star power. So screw Pete Doherty. I'm going with Ozzy. Agree.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Man, there's so many options for this last spot. I'm having a hard time deciding.
You just make a decision. I had to decide. You decide.
All right.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pick.
Fudge. I got nothing.
What?
I was trying to find someone really tall who got in fights a lot.
Yeah, I don't know. You just gotta, man. If you have something written down, you got to choose. Otherwise,
No, I didn't. I only had
it's
those
5
4.
on 4.
Sure, I'll still win.
Alex C says Gigi Allen.
Ugh. You're gonna get poop on everybody.
Do you want to win or not, Gigi Allen?
Well, I mean, just because he was like super aggressive doesn't mean he knew how to fight. I feel like he's the guy who'd start fights and just lose all the time.
No, man, because he's crazy.
Yeah.
I know you don't like him, but if you want to win, you'd pick him.
I don't know. Fine, I'll pick him. I regret it instantly.
You've got the poo-poo guy.
Yeah, I know. You.
Oh, man.
You.
Oh, yeah. You ever seen that video of Danzig getting knocked out backstage?
Yeah.
I think you got a team full of like...
Oh, no. Iggy Pop. Give me Iggy. Prime Iggy. He was crazy.
Yeah, like that book you had. Did he have any... was he getting any scraps back then?
I'm sure he was. He was crazy.
You didn't want to go with Lou Reed?
No.
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 All right. I kind
like
of feel like my team
fight.
wins, dude. I feel like Liam takes out everybody, to be honest with you. Liam Gallagher's the sole survivor.
How about that, man?
Oh, man. All right. The next question. We've been taking too long.
Next question. That was great. I like that. That was my favorite question of the week so far.
Madness is on the mind. Let's see here.
Fear and Loathing. If you found someone else started a wrestling podcast called Going in Raw, would you get lawyers involved or just change your name and wish Haku, Mang, and New Jack good luck with their new podcast?
Oh, I'm in it to win it. I'm going to compete with these guys. Okay, number one, here's the thing. They don't have longevity. They're not sticking this out for the long term.
Yeah. And
like we've been around
based
too
on
long.
Yeah, we don't, if it goes to court, we've had this name for the longer period of time. I would think that would lend us some credence as far as being the Going in Raw. I know it's not everything, right?
You think Credence could do well in a fight?
No. I've seen John Fogerty at a Target once. Guess what he was wearing?
See.
Guess.
A polo.
No, jeans and flannel. That's what he wore like the whole time in the 60s,
All
man.
Right. Well, when you get old, I figured polo. Best streamer you're not watching asks, what modes would you guys like to see back in the WWE 2K series whenever that happens again?
GM, custom story.
Number one is custom story so that people can upload their story. That was the most brilliant. Could you imagine the content we can make? A whole other channel, millions of views, just based off of finding other people's wacky stories. That needs to come back. Today's episode of Going In Raw is sponsored by Indochino. Indochino was started on the belief that custom clothing shouldn't cost a fortune, so they offer made-to-measure clothing at a fair price. Suits, blazers, shirts, pants, and coats are all available, and you get to customize everything. From the fabric and lining to lapel shape, the choice is all yours.
I imagine I'm like a lot of guys out there who are kind of in between sizes. I can't tell you how many times I've bought a pair of pants that fit great around the waist, but a little too tight around the leg or too short. But after booking a virtual style consultation at Indochino.com and sending in my measurements, I got a great pair of pants that fit perfectly at a great price. Now I know I got pants I can wear for basically any occasion that look great, and I didn't have to break the bank to get them.
Yeah, I got a dress shirt that fits great, looks amazing through Indochino without having to leave my house, Larson. Indochino has showrooms across North America, or you can book a virtual appointment and shop online at Indochino.com. And right now, you can get an extra $30 off any purchase of $399 or more at Indochino.com when entering RAW at checkout. That's Indochino.com, promo code RAW.
Maybe easy. Who's the next big star from NXT that isn't already there? So who's the next top NXT star who's not in NXT?
There are really no more Killer Crosses on the scene, are there?
I guess the other potentiality is we have heard that Sonata either contract has expired or is about to expire. So if he were to sign to NXT,
Cold Stone showing up
that
in
could
NXT.
be potentially pretty huge. So I'll say Sonata.
I'm gonna say somebody from AAA. So I'm gonna say like
Taurus,
the Ambergisa guy.
All right.
I don't know, one of the clowns, man. One of those clowns. Psycho clown, murder clown. Take your pick.
Okay.
Just a clown.
Nick, should NXT start announcing their match cards instead of just focusing main story matches? When they announced the Great American Bash matches, it got people to tune in, but also let fans compare match cards to see which matches to tune in and tune out. Generally, NXT is better about their show previews in terms of announcing some of the matches. Like sometimes Raw, when we just do a Raw preview, there'll be nothing.
Well, compared to AEW, who releases like the entire card ahead of time,
the vast majority of it, yeah.
I mean, look, I'm not there. I don't know like what focus groups would think. I honestly don't care either way. I know generally speaking what I'm going to get with NXT, and I'll be honest with you, I kind of prefer the surprise. They announce their big matches in advance. But yeah, and then the way AEW does it, they tell you everything that's going to happen. That might be smart for them. I mean, they've been winning in the ratings war most of the weeks, so maybe there's something to be said for that. I don't know. I personally don't have much of a preference. I know what NXT is going to give me. I know what AEW is going to give me, regardless if I know what the matches are or not. So, doesn't really matter to me.
Yeah. Matt Durat has got a two-parter. First, do you guys think AEW should keep the challenger a surprise for the open challenge? Depends on the situation. Depends. Like with Warhorse, I understand since there is such so many people were saying, hey, have Warhorse be the challenger. I understand why they announced that in advance, so everybody who asked for Warhorse to challenge will watch the show.
Yeah.
In terms of marketing, it makes sense. The Eddie Kingston one, I don't know if there was quite the popular movement that there was for Warhorse to get Eddie Kingston on there. So keeping him a surprise made sense.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that there's no need for a hard and fast rule. And in fact, sticking to whatever situation works best. I thought it was a really awesome, pleasant surprise for it to be Eddie Kingston. For it to be Warhorse this week to advertise in advance. The announcement itself is like, oh, wow, that's really cool. Now I'm looking forward to how it's going to go down. I don't think there's really, I don't think there should be a hard and fast rule. Just say, hey, how will this one work? I do think that if it's going to be an AEW talent, you probably don't want to give it the surprise treatment because people, I think, might expect if it's going to be a surprise, it's going to be from outside AEW.
Yes.
So that would be, unless it's a surprise that would surprise Cody, like, oh my God, Dustin's coming out to challenge me. That could be a cool surprise. But that could also work, announcing in advance too. So
whatever, they can hype it up on Twitter or whatever. Van Dam, top 3 musicians, past or present, you would love to see live.
I'm sorry, top 3 what?
Musicians, past or present, you would love to see live.
Well, I would say the Beatles, but they weren't actually really that great of a live. I mean, it's not that they weren't a great live band. It's that they weren't known primarily. They were known for the spectacle of being the Beatles and just teenagers screaming their heads off. But even John Lennon said, we didn't really grow as a live act once we got popular. I think just for the historical context, it'd be fun to see the Beatles live.
Yeah. And of course, a lot of their later stuff, you have to have half a dozen or at least a dozen musicians up there to play.
Yeah, totally.
Most of the stuff off Sgt. Pepper's.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be really fun to see the Beatles do, let's say you get the Beatles in 1968 and they try to do a live version, just the 4 of them of the White Album. That could be really cool. That'd be really neat.
All right, that's one. Who else you got?
I never saw Soundgarden live, so I'd love to have been able to see them. And then I never saw Nirvana live, so probably them.
Yeah. For me, it'd be Public Enemy. Always wanted to see them live. Never got a chance to. Still haven't got to see Run the Jewels live.
Well,
Hasn't happened. And then I tried to convince my dad to let me go to Nirvana in 1993, their last show in Northern California. He was like, no, you just went and saw Pearl Jam like 2 months ago. You don't need to go to another concert. So I never went.
whoops.
So I never got to see Nirvana.
And you've never talked to your dad since.
That's not true. I talked to him yesterday. I believe the Butthole Surfer is open for him on that show, too.
Oh, man.
It's in Oakland.
Let's see here.
L. Hi, Steve and Larson. Since there is a Hogan and Ric Flair biopic in the works, individual, not a joint one.
That'd be great if it was a joint one.
I know. Power rank top 5. Who else you'd like to see have their own movie? And L says Scott Hall would be an obvious choice. Yeah, Scott Hall biopic would be
Man,
cool.
who could you get to play Scott Hall, though? I mean, Hemsworth as Hogan will be that'll be so much fun.
Yeah.
They should have got Taika Waititi to direct that movie, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
That could be great. My answer has always been Bruno Sammartino.
Yeah, that's good.
That would be amazing.
What was their name? Gold Dust Trio?
Oh,
That'd
yeah.
be good.
Yeah. Alex C says a Rick Bognar movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it climaxes with him debuting as fake
Razor Ramon.
Razor Ramon.
We can tell that story. No, NWO Sting. Jeff Farmer.
Jeff Farmer. There you go.
Chris Kaufman. It's Triple H's birthday. What gift do you give the King of Kings? I believe Anthony has the correct answer here. Salmon.
Oh,
He
yeah.
loves salmon.
He can. Yeah, you can never give him enough salmon. That's
I
what
had
I've
salmon
heard.
last night, and guess what? I microwaved salmon for lunch today.
Well, you're in the privacy of your own home. I feel for your family, and
I turned the vent on over the stove.
That's good.
And my wife made a really good mango avocado type salsa to go on it, so it kind of covered up any fishy smell, but it wasn't even that fishy.
Drew Masters, do you guys think there should be an off season for WWE?
Yes.
100% yes.
Without a doubt.
Absolutely.
Sean Barlow, just thinking today, surely we can't do the the Royal Rumble Performance Center with no fans. That would be so strange. What do you think the chances are of having fans back by then?
By the Rumble, by January? I think at that point, dude, hasn't all of Florida already gotten it?
I don't know, man.
and like,
did you hear like 14 Miami Marlins players?
Yeah, I know. Adam Silver was trending because of his bubble concept. Yeah.
Like if you're gonna do sports in this day and age, you got to do it in a bubble. That's the only way it's gonna work. It's the only way it's gonna work.
Hey, and
like if WWE wants to have fans at the shows, then they got to set up shop, kind of like they're doing in Orlando. Just they're having every show at one arena. 25% of the venue's occupancy, and that's it. You can't make it. You can't take it on the road yet, because once you exit anything that's resembling a bubble, then the opportunities for risk just go up so much.
If Florida just tries to power through, then maybe by January they'll be ready for the Rumble. I honestly don't know. I have no idea how that works. I still don't know if you. I mean, I think you can get it. Like you had it. You get through it, and I think you can have it again, can't you?
That's kind of up for debate.
Yeah,
I've seen
lot. Yeah,
some things or some anecdotal things where it's the case, and then you read about it, and it's like, no, it kind of seems like that's not. It could be one of those things where the virus can just kind of stay within you for up to like 4 months, 3.5 months. So,
yeah, who knows?
So who knows? Jonathan, what's next for Bo Dallas?
Nothing. Next, I mean, it's I don't know. Nothing seemingly.
This is a good question. From NJWP, out of the owners of WWE, Impact, AEW, and NWA, which would you have dinner with, fight, be their production assistant or a personal assistant, and be friends with?
Okay, so I gotta fight somebody. I gotta be a PA. What else?
Or a personal assistant, have dinner with, and then be friends with.
Friends. Okay, what are the names?
So Vince McMahon.
It's always good to have a friend in Vince McMahon.
I'd have dinner with Vince.
Okay.
Because you sit, you have some conversation for a couple hours, and that's it.
Well, I guess I need the other names before I start deciding these things.
So I guess Impact, that'd be Ed Nordholm.
Okay, wait a second. What? I thought, isn't there like a bunch of names?
Out of the owners of WWE
owners.
Impact.
The owners. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So I don't know who the actual owner of Anthem Entertainment is. So we'll just say Ed Nordholm because he's the guy that's running Impact.
Yeah, Ed Nordholm.
And then Tony Khan.
Oh, Tony Khan.
And then Billy Corgan.
And Billy.
Who's your friend?
Let's see here. I would be the assistant to Tony Khan. I think he'd be the best boss. He'd probably get you like really cool Christmas presents too. I guess I would fight Ed Nordholm. I don't have any desire to be around that guy. I'd have.
So then you'd be Billy Corgan's personal assistant.
No, Tony Khan's personal assistant.
Oh, sorry. Then you'd be friends with Billy Corgan.
I'd have dinner with Billy Corgan. I'd be friends with Vince McMahon.
All right.
And I'd fight Ed Nordholm. And I'd win too, damn it. And it'd be a fight for control of Impact Wrestling.
There you go. I'd have dinner with Vince, fight Ed Nordholm, be friends with Tony Khan, and then I guess I'd put in a year as Billy Corgan's personal assistant and move on to other things.
Yeah, you got to find out what some of those rock star guys can be kind of weird though, man. Mm-hmm. But then also they're rock stars, so you get to see the rock star life. Be like, hey, about to have this orgy. Larson, come in here and
sorry,
partake
Billy,
if you wish.
Say, sorry, Billy, not my thing.
Well, he's like, well, you're my personal assistant. I order you to get naked.
Sorry, I guess I'll look for employment elsewhere, Billy. William Patrick Corgan.
William Patrick Corgan. Let's see here. Greg Morris says, is Butch Mayo related to Butch Bacon? There was actually a Butch Bacon that was a fighter, you know. I was Googling Butch Bacon. And I think he was like a MMA fighter or something. Oh, yeah, wow. He's an MMA fighter.
That's interesting. I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. Trey asked, does AEW need a wrestling war to build their brand, or would it be better to focus on their talent and building compelling stories instead of relying on shots at WWE? Trey says, I'm 40, still on that all-important demo, but a wrestling war doesn't interest me. Am I alone on this? I think by and large AEW does focus on their own things. They'll take shots at WWE from time to time. I don't really feel like it ever goes overboard.
I personally don't feel like they engage. If I'll put it this way, if you stay off Twitter, or if you just all you gotta do is don't follow them on Twitter, because like you see the shots every once in a while. You got Tony Khan talking about ratings. You got Cody doesn't really do that. Jericho obviously has made it a gimmick. I don't see it. I mean, a lot of the surrounding story, a lot of the surrounding narrative, I guess, just falls into that. But I don't think it's perpetuated necessarily by AEW. I think that AEW tries to do their thing. Early on, there were pot shots every, a couple weeks in a row. But I don't know. I don't really think, to me, it doesn't. I don't think that defines their product at all. I think that their product defines their product. I think that their stars define their product. And I don't. I think that the war is a narrative that's by and large perpetuated by fans. A
construct of, yeah. Noob and Company. If Shayna Baszler faces Asuka for the Raw Women's title at SummerSlam, if Asuka wins tonight, will her push end? Or if Sasha Banks wins, will it protect Asuka? So if Shayna faces Asuka for the title at night. If Shayna faces Asuka for the title at SummerSlam, assuming Asuka wins tonight, will her push end? I guess Asuka's will push end, or if Sasha wins tonight, will it protect Asuka? Well, I think regardless, Asuka is going to be taking on Shayna Baszler at SummerSlam.
Yeah, I think Asuka's going to win tonight. I think Bayley's going to cost Sasha that title. They might do something more clever than that, but that's how I think it's going to go down. And I don't know. I mean, I think that Shayna, whether we agree with this or not, Shayna is going to have to prove to Vince McMahon that she is a viable commodity, I guess, as a wrestler. Because after Mania, she sort of disappeared. And if she might very well get that title off Asuka, but I'll believe it when I see it.
Yep. Sean, this is a good question. What failed WWE superstar would do you think would have a better chance of making it now with all these cinematic matches happening?
Bo Dallas, I think, would have terrific sort of camera charisma. Well, I think he already does, but I think that you could really make use of his comedy chops.
I'll say Mordecai.
Situation.
Mordecai.
What's that?
You know, by every indication, like the character, the gimmick had some potential, but the way he decided to wrestle his matches, slow, deliberate, kind of undid him.
Yeah.
So you can kind of either get away from that or use it in a more cinematic manner if you're doing it in these cinematic matches. Hugh Longheavy, how soon should Big E squash The Fiend? Well, Fiend wins title at SummerSlam. SmackDown after SummerSlam. Big E defeats him in 90 seconds to get the title and has that belt for 5 years.
There you go. Dominic Molnar. Who do you think is the most underutilized wrestler in AEW? To him, he thinks it's Joey Janela. Did you see that fall Joey Janela?
Yeah, man.
Wow. That's just not smart. Not into that. I also actually think that he's probably high up there on the list of underutilized wrestlers. I think he's absolutely terrific. It just freaks me out when he takes risks like that.
Yeah. I'll say Sean Spears.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. It always seems like they're percolating something with him, and then
I know, and then he'll be off TV for weeks at a time.
Yeah. Are you reading stuff off the Twitch yet?
No, I haven't got. There's still plenty of Twitter questions here.
Okay.
Justin is Brooks. Who in AEW and WWE would you want to be stuck on a deserted island with? We've had variations of this question before.
Stuck on a deserted island with. Asuka. I feel like Asuka is probably a very, what's the word I'm looking for? She's probably pretty crafty. She's probably pretty clever. So you want somebody who can who can do that on a desert island.
Good answer. Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
And that promo he did with the Gameskeeper guy, he was throwing around rocks.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
We need to build some sort of shelter. He just takes a tree, breaks it with the bare hands. It seems like he'd be a good pick.
Lowercase Kevin, considering a work from home life is going to be the norm for me for 2020, I'm casually getting back into video games and bought a PS4 this week, taking out the trash fire that is WWE 2K20. Which in the 2K game series would you recommend I buy for some fun gameplay? Go with 2K19. 2K19 was fine.
A lot of fun.
That was fine.
Yeah, 19 was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Cliff Davis says, liking the enhanced Matt chat from this past weekend. Thank you again to Brian Zane for joining us for Matt chat last week. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Who else is on your special guest wish list?
Oh, we got to keep that close. Can't reveal that because we're gonna. I'm bound and determined we're gonna get some.
Yeah,
we're gonna get some. But let's say, okay, answer the question, but with somebody that we probably don't have a shot at getting. Well, Vince McMahon. Could you imagine Vince answering a Christopher Rappersad question? Vince, this question's from Christopher Rappersad. He asks, "Why do you hate wrestling?"
Well, what does he mean? I hate wrestling. I am wrestling. That's your answer, Vince? That is what I believe. That's something we got to bring back. Remember that from was it Deadwood?
And that is what I believe. Yeah, me and Lacey we still use that. Yeah. Lord Ziffer, do you guys think Balor will win any more titles while he's back in NXT, or is this more about putting on banger matches and elevating talent for him? I'm really curious how that Walter match would have panned out.
I know. I mean, my gut's telling me they're using this North American title thing to develop a new star. But if there's any kind of established star they're going to put a belt on, I would think it's going to be Finn. Mm-hmm. I could be completely wrong. I mean, just based on the tone of Keith Lee's announcement, who we've seen in these two qualifying or announced for these two qualifying matches so far, my gut's just telling me they're just going to use that belt to elevate somebody, away from the mid card.
Yeah, yeah. On the other hand, Keith Lee is not. I mean, okay, he's. Yeah, I don't know. I can see them going any number of ways with that. Let's see here. Nava, with more wrestlers being allowed to perform in New Japan and or the Indies, could this eventually become the new normal way of contracts? Yeah, with AEW probably. With AEW and Impact probably. Well, okay, so with AEW kind of depends on how much stroke you have. I don't know how much leeway they would give to just your normal run-of-the-mill wrestler.
Yeah, you got to have some sort of equity in the business.
If you're coming from WWE and AEW wants you, it seems to be that you could probably get that. You could probably get that.
Giancarlo Fuentes, what superstars would you like to see in a Tarantino direct cinematic match, and what kind of match would it be?
Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe.
He feels like a cinematic character. Or a Tarantino character, rather.
Samoa Joe and...
I could see Aleister Black being in a Tarantino movie.
Uh-huh. Yeah. That'd be a good matchup.
Zondo, what are some gimmicks to keep WWE pay-per-views fresh during quarantine? Like the Royal Rumble, the floor is lava, where the ring is surrounded by fake lava, like in that Netflix show. I really like that idea. That's great. I still think Money in the Bank was like pinnacle. It was like peak cinematic. That was so much fun.
Outside of Firefly Funhouse, I think that was probably the most fun cinematic match. Did you see WWE's top 10 matches of the year so far? They have their official list.
I just saw like the thumbnail. I saw that like.
Guess what was number one?
The number one would have been... Oh, God, it's not Drew versus Brock, is it?
No.
What is it?
Well, you'd think it'd be their self-proclaimed greatest match ever.
Oh, the greatest match ever. Yeah, right.
But it's not. The Boneyard match is number one.
Tough call by WWE Digital. Because on one hand, you got literally, they call it the greatest match ever. Did that at least get number two?
Yeah, it was number two.
That's them taking that's them being funny though, dude. That's them completely not taking that idea seriously. Like, oh, it's called the greatest match ever. We're gonna make it number two. That's funny.
Well, that list is completely invalid because there's no Firefly Funhouse match on that. That's actually the best match of the year.
Yeah, it was more like a silly short film.
Oh man, it was brilliant.
It wasn't actually a match though.
There was a pinfall at the end, wasn't it? John Cena disappeared. It was more of a match than the swamp fight was.
I agree with that. Alex C., each of you name an actor and the other say which wrestler they'd be best at playing.
All right.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. Ricky Morton.
What the hell? The answer with Daniel Day-Lewis is Vince McMahon. That would be amazing.
Sam Rockwell.
I would like to see Sam Rockwell as... You know what would be great to see Sam Rockwell? I'm thinking of his what was that? What was the Clooney directed one about the game show guy who's a CIA guy?
Oh, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind.
Who was it? Barris was the guy he played, right? What was his first name? Was it George? It wasn't Chuck Barris. I could see Sam Rockwell sort of in that same light, but being Mean Gene.
Yeah.
How great would that be? Sam Rockwell playing Mean Gene.
I wonder who's going to play. Answer.
Huh?
Sorry, go ahead. I don't know which actor this is for, but Asian Murr just says the Sandman. Imagine it's Daniel Day-Lewis as the Sandman.
Oh my gosh. Dude, I'm telling you, Daniel Day-Lewis would be Vince McMahon. It'd be great.
That's too obvious an answer. Give me something more interesting than that.
Ricky Morton. Okay, why did you say Ricky Morton then?
First name that popped in my head.
Okay. There's no likeness whatsoever, but you imagine Daniel Day-Lewis playing like Paul Heyman. That'd be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Zoe Conrana. Oh, what a great name, Zoe Conrana. Do you think Kushida is going to end up like Kenta in WWE, never really being utilized correctly?
I don't know what the story is there, man. I don't know what the deal is.
Might be another Cassius Ohno. I don't know. It is weird. Dr. Steve Winters, what wrestler story would make a good Dewey Cox-like movie? AJ Styles, because he's been like all over the place. Let's see here. I'm just trying to do something. I would love to see a New Jack biopic in a Wolf of Wall Street style. That would be, the excess there. That'd be great.
That'd be something else.
Jonathan, if you could take any modern song and go back in time and sell it to an older band, who and what song would you choose?
That's good.
A modern song.
I want it that way and sell it to the Four Seasons.
Oh, that's good. I'm gonna say I like that. I Want It That Way is a modern song. What's that one song? Old Town Road. Give that to Waylon Jennings.
Oh, there you go.
Give that to the band. That'd be Levon Helm singing that. That'd be good. I like that. Haha Jackson. The Doors or Floyd? Biggie, Bruce Springsteen, Daniel Johnston. That's not a question.
Opinions?
I don't know.
Asking opinions on each of those?
I don't know. That's not. It doesn't say that. Maybe he was answering something earlier. Dark Dank Lucha. Will there be an Impact Connecticut stream tomorrow? Yeah, dude. I'm doing that. Impact Tuesdays. Michelangelo something. What will they change Killian Cross's name to when he goes to Maine, because they can't have him and Nikki Cross? Well, his is spelled with a K.
They're on, Nikki's on SmackDown. If he's on Raw,
they'll just call him Killian.
Yeah.
Or Carrion. Killian. He put Killian here. Anyways, that's it for the show. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Twitch chat, stick around. We'll see if we could do a raid.
Yeah.